Music Access. The leaves are slowly turning red, orange, and yellow these days here in Korea, and meteorologists are saying that the fall foliage will reach a peak next weekend. But younger kids aren't as interested in the beautiful natural scenery or the changing of the seasons as much as adults, are they? Do you know why? Well, here's what adults say is the reason. They say it's because the kids themselves are much more beautiful than the weather or natural scenery. It's because kids are even more full of life than nature itself, more beautiful than the budding flowers, more refreshing than a flowing stream, and freer than the wind, that they kind of overlook those things. So, isn't that amazing? That means that you guys are more beautiful than flowers, a flowing stream, and the wind. So enjoy the weekend, and of course enjoy the new month that's just begun. The first song you heard today, Sunday, November 1st, 2015, was Changing of the Seasons by Two Door Cinema Club. What's up, Music Access fam? It is now the first day of the second to last month of 2015. Wow, it's hard to believe that already 10 months this year passed by so quickly. I feel like there was a lot of stuff we did. There was a lot of experiences that we had so far. Granted, of course, before we actually dive into all that, we'll wait for the year to end before we kind of, get to that. But really, it's been a fast year, and hopefully it was productive for all of y'all. And it'll be even more productive for us as we close the year. Alright, so, of course, our Sunday show. We have our Sunday Corner Scribble, which is a corner for you to think freely and just doodle out your thoughts. It's a chance for you to be honest to yourself and think about what was hard, what was embarrassing, what was a proud moment, etc. from the past week. Go ahead and share with us by writing Scribble on your title. And now here's how you can listen and participate on Music Access. If you have a smartphone, you can download the Arirang Radio app or TuneIn Radio app to listen to our programs and send in your messages. And if you use a computer, just visit www.arirangradio.com/musicaccess to listen to us or leave your messages. Another way you can tune in is through terrestrial DMB, but this is only available for our listeners living on Jeju Island. The frequencies are 88.7 for Jeju City, 88.1 for Seogwipo, and 101.9 for Daejeong. And of course, some requests, we love them infinitely, so keep them coming by posting up a message on our message board under the title Request. Now we're going to check out two songs before we dive into Scribble, and we're going to check out the songs These Days by Take That, followed with My Love by Route 94 featuring Jess Glynn. Be with you, and if you feel the same, shall we meet here? Will you tell me your story? If you're shy, you can playfully scribble, and if you don't know where to start, you can start with the doodle and scribble. Good job, that's how we'll begin our story. I wanna be with you. Our Sunday Corner Scribble is just that. This corner's for you to think freely and just doodle out your thoughts. It's a chance to be honest and think about what was hard, what was embarrassing, what was a proud moment from the past week or whenever. Go ahead and share with us by writing Scribble on your title. And now let's go to our first message, which comes from Unita Swinyo from Indonesia, saying, Hey Benji, I feel like this every time I listen to Music Access, but I feel like we have a lot in common. I heard you said that you don't like boxing, wrestling, and similar activities. And me too. I don't like it, and I feel a little uncomfortable if I have to watch it accidentally. It's not a real fight, but they're fighting, and it's not real violence, but it feels very similar. I don't like types of sports that show off their strength or something like that. I prefer other types of sports like badminton, basketball, archery, and other similar activities. Benji, what's your favorite sport, and what sport do you want to learn and be an expert at? I actually kind of want to learn boxing, just honestly. It's weird how I don't like watching it, but at the same time, there's something very fascinating about that because, in a certain way, boxing is a method of self-defense. So should I need any kind of, self-defense, that would be my method to do that. And besides that, I think just if there was a sport that I want to be good at, I want to be good at basketball. I did soccer when I was growing up. Soccer is fun. Football is also very fun. So this is, American football, I guess, if I have to say that. And then what other sports are there? Baseball. I'm not a huge baseball head. But, I think basketball is just a really, really fun sport. Even if you're bad at it, running around, being on the court, running up and down the court, shooting the ball, free throws, all that stuff I think is just really, really fun. And especially, one of the things I love about basketball is just the kind of, I don't know, there's something about a slam dunk that's just like, it's super, super awesome. It makes you look so cool. And I guess I'm still in that kind of elementary school, junior high phase where I think, athletes are super awesome. But, just for me personally, I feel like that kind of, you got the whole Michael Jordan, you have Magic Johnson, you have the LeBron James, the Kobe's, all that stuff. It's just, basketball is super awesome. I think basketball is a sport that I want to be really good at, and it'll help me become popular with girls. Just kidding, I mean just cool overall. Alright, so we're going to check out 2 songs before we continue on out, starting with a song that Thu Trang of Vietnam requested, Drag Me Down by One Direction, and Yoko of Japan wants to hear Coming Home by One Republic. We just heard Drag Me Down by One Direction, followed by Come Home by One Republic. We are on our Sunday show. You're listening to Scribble Scribble, the memorable events that happened to you this week. Don't just go over them in your head, but try writing down your feelings by jotting down your thoughts comfortably, just like you're doodling. Sharing your thoughts here on Sunday via Scribble Scribble. Our next message for this corner comes from Pamed from Mexico, saying, Hi, Benji. So, the other day I asked you what was the most important thing for you, which you couldn't live without, and I couldn't hear the answer because I fell asleep. But now I want to ask you, if you were to choose a dish to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? Greetings from Mexico. Actually, I remember, it's weird how I remember this, but I remember talking about this with the BIG members way before we debuted. We were eating at a kind of like a, they call them, there's like these places where they sell kimbap, or the Korean, the rolls that they have rice and stuff in them. And then we were talking about what kind of food you couldn't live without, or if you had to choose one food to eat. And I think what came out, there was ramen, there was pizza, there was, rice. And I think one of the things that I first realized was, I first said cheese or steak, but it's actually really, really hard to kind of, make something out of that. And so what I thought about is a pizza. Because, and listen to me, bear with me for a second, you can put a lot of stuff on pizza. So you could have a pizza with cheese, tomato sauce, and cheese. And that's, just a normal pizza. If you want to have something creamy, you could put, Alfredo sauce or white sauce on the pizza. If you want to have a more spicy experience, you can put, more spicy tomato sauce on the pizza. And, why not? There's different types of crusts as well. If you want something a little fattening, you could go for a pan pizza. If you want something a little bit more of the, the kind of on-the-go type, you could go for a hand-tossed pizza. And besides that, there's also, thin crust pizza. Even way back when, I'm just saying, when I was in college, there were so many different types of pizza. There was like a basil pesto pizza, where they put kind of a pesto sauce on top, and then they put cheese on top. And then there was like a barbecue pizza, where they put barbecue sauce and cheese and onions and chicken. And then I invented what I called the mayo pizza, which is you put mayo mixed with barbecue sauce. So you kind of get a mayo barbecue. Then you put chicken. It was really good. It's fattening. It was super fattening. And you eat that with fries. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But yeah, I'd say pizza, just because there's a lot of variations you can mix it up. And then if you're saying you can only pick one ingredient, then I might say watermelon. Just because, sweet and watermelon. Although I might get sick of it really fast. I don't know. Pizza, though. It's awesome. Alright, so we're going to check out 2 more songs as we continue on, starting with the song If You're Ready, Come and Get It by Selena Gomez, followed with the song Kimberly of the USA requested Hold On, We're Going Home by Drake. We just heard the song Come and Get It by Selena Gomez, followed with Hold On, We're Going Home by Drake. Such a chill song. Isn't it such a chill song? I love that song. Although, I be on that hotline bling, and you see that little dance that he's doing in the music video. So cute. Although he is Drake, so should I say manly? I don't know. Alright, so we're here on Scribble Scribble, and our next message comes from Desiree from the USA, saying, I want to share with you one of my favorite quotes by Douglas Adams. It goes, I rarely end up where I was intending to go, but often I end up somewhere I needed to be. It's always been a quote that's resonated with me, especially in difficult or confusing times. To read it again, I rarely end up where I was intending to go. So I rarely kind of end up being in places that I want to go, but I often end up somewhere I needed to be. I think that's really, really interesting, and I think it's something to think about, not ending up in places where you want to go also, can be retranslated as I sometimes don't get what I want, or sometimes I don't, the way I want things to work out, they don't work out that way, but they end up in a way that was necessary for me, or in a way where I was necessary in that situation. And, it's kind of interesting when you think about it. What do you think is more important? What's more important for you? Is it better for you to achieve everything that you want, or achieve things in a way where everything was necessary and part of that necessity was you? That might be a little confusing to you, but I think it's really, really interesting. For me personally, I've always been a huge fan of trying to do what I want, but then at the same time, where I'm needed, it's, I think it was the, Batman, the one who said, he's not the hero that Gotham needs, but the one it deserves, or something like that. It was confusing, but I think it's very, there's a certain amount of importance that's necessary when it comes to, people being needed in a certain place. And even if it may not turn out the way you wanted things to turn out, if you were needed and you were useful somewhere, isn't that also maybe a good option? I don't know, maybe some food for thought and something to think about. Alright, so we're going to check out 2 more songs as we continue on, starting with the song that Shreya of Bangladesh wants to hear, Mina by Super Junior, and Okusama of Japan requested Niga Pirohe by Bestie. We just heard Mina by Super Junior, followed with Niga Pirohe by Bestie. Who watched the Bestie BIGASC way back when? Who even remembers that? Wow, that was such a long time ago. And to think now, we're coming back soon, and it's already been, this is about the time we were promoting Are You Ready? Or no, Are You Ready was promoted in October. So yeah, memories, guys. Alright, so our next message comes from myself from the Philippines saying, Hey, Bebe Benji, happy Sunday. Have you had lunch yet? How's the weather in Korea right now? Here it's so hot. And of course, the always thing at the end, give a shout out to your Shane, Amma, and Tita Denji. Thank you. What's up, Shane, Amma, and Tita Denji, and myself from the Philippines. What's up, what's up, what's up? Of course, I've had lunch. I always eat something really delicious, but the weather in Korea right now, of course, as always, it is getting chillier. So like I always say, for those of you who are in Korea, and for those of you who are around Korea in the area where things get a little colder, make sure to dress warmly, get that padding out, and drink a lot of hot chocolate, because hot chocolate's actually really good for you. Good hot chocolate. Alright, so we're going to continue on with 2 more songs, starting with a song that Mylene of the USA requested, You by Jisoo, and Tikti of Vietnam wants to hear 벌써 보고 싶어 by Gina. Alright, right after a short break, we'll continue on with Scribble Scribble in the second hour, introducing your messages and thoughts. We're going to check out the song that Niriana of Indonesia requested, Fix You by Coldplay, and be right back. You're listening to Music Access with me, Benji of B.I.G., and our first song starting off the second hour of our show for Sunday, November 1st was Break a Sweat by Becky G. Now here's how you can listen and participate on Music Access. You can download the Arirang Radio or TuneIn Radio app on your smartphone. And you can also send us messages via the app using the comment function. You can also listen to us by visiting our website www.arirangradio.com/musicaccess and leave your messages there on our message board. Another way you can tune in is through terrestrial DMB, but this is only available for our listeners living on Jeju Island. The frequencies are 88.7 for Jeju City, 88.1 for Seogwipo, and 101.9 for Daejeong. Alright, we'll check out two songs before we continue on with messages, and we're going to start with We All Want the Same Thing by Rixton, followed with Adore You by Miley Cyrus. We just heard We All Want the Same Thing by Rixton, followed by Adore You by Miley Cyrus. You're listening to the second hour of Music Access for Sunday. And of course we have our Sunday corner Scribble Scribble, which is just like using your Access as a big notepad. Just as you jot down your ideas, thoughts, and what's been on your mind without thinking much on a notepad, you can send them into us here so we can all share. It'll be your messages filling up this corner, so feel free to just jot down what's on your mind. And our first message for our second hour comes from Samantha from Australia saying, "Good day, Benji." Good day, Samantha. "It's probably getting colder in Seoul, so please keep warm." Very accurate. It's warming up here in Oz. And if it gets any hotter, I will start to melt. We have the Melbourne Cup this Tuesday, and I'm hoping my horse comes in first, but I don't think it will. I'm not good at picking the winning horse. Oh my gosh, I thought you were racing a horse like a horse that you actually have. So most of the time, I'll be relaxing and not doing a thing. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Sending love, hugs, and kisses. Oh, wow. I was reading this message, and for a second, I was like, oh my gosh, you have a horse that you're racing? Are you like a horse racer? That's so awesome. I mean, I want to be a horse racer. But then I kept reading, and I realized it's a horse that you are betting on. So for those of you who may or may not be aware of this, betting on horse racing, I guess, that is a thing. And, it's a thing that you can get money from if you look at, various TV dramas. This thing like horse racing comes out. And the Melbourne Cup is a very, very big event. And hopefully, the horse you pick does get in first. I've never been to a horse race personally. I've always been very, very interested in going. But besides the whole betting procedure, I feel like there is a great amount of adrenaline that must get pumped up. Just that kind of like, oh my gosh, go, 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 go. And especially, in a car race, we're watching cars. And although it is great to watch cars race, at the same time, watching a live animal race, I think, is something that's super, super cool. And it's natural at the same time to have all these horses running so fast. I don't know. If not, I could be wrong. But that's my personal opinion on that. Just the kind of excitement that stems from testing the limits of these kind of races. I think it's super cool. So good luck. Hopefully your horse does win and you'll make some money. And if you do, celebrate by buying a horse. Not a real horse, though. Horses are expensive and the upkeep is too much. Alright, so we're going to check out two more songs as we continue on, starting with the song Caffeine by Yang Yosep featuring Yong Junhyung, followed with 그런 너 by Boa. We just heard Caffeine by, I think it was the Yong Junhyung piano version with a Yang Yosep, and 그런 너 or Disturbance by Boa. I remember when this song came out, it was just like, I didn't know, because this was a song I think that was composed and written by Boa, if I'm not mistaken, and it was my first kind of experience, because normally she does very powerful music, but then hearing this kind of mellow music, it was great, this one, and of course the song that she did recently, I forgot what it was called, but that was also really good. Alright, so it's the song she did with Gecko. Anyways, we're continuing on with Music Access and Scribble Scribble. And the next message is from Mylene from the USA saying, "Hi Benji, if you don't find it bothersome, I want to ask you some questions." Alright, so we got some questions in question time. Number 1, what turns you off? The light switch. Number 2, what are you afraid of most? Insects, animals. Fear. What are your worst habits? My worst habits. Any pet peeves? I used to have a fish. And that was joke time with Benji. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now we'll do it in a real thing because that wasn't funny at all. Sorry, guys. Okay, so number 1, what turns you off? I think Something that's very, very unattractive is, I guess, someone not being very interested in a situation. Not having a lot of disinterest, not showing any kind of attentiveness at all in a situation. I think that's something that's not only very unattractive, but it's very negative in a certain way to have someone that's like that. So, guys and girls, if you are in a situation, and regardless of what it is, maybe show some attention, be very attentive in what you do, and I'm sure people will come to like you. 2, what are you afraid of the most? I've mentioned this before. I used to be spiders, but recently it changed, and, hey, what did it change to? I don't forget. I don't remember. I don't forget. No, I don't remember. If I didn't forget, then I'd probably be in a really different place right now. But I'd say for this now, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid of messing up. That I'll make a mistake in a certain part of my life and that it will have various big consequences. I think that's what I'm afraid of the most right now. What are my worst habits? I'm not very clean. I don't clean up after myself that well. I think that's one of my worst habits. So, for example, I'll cook, but then I won't do the dishes, and then I'll get scolded for that. That kind of stuff. And then, pet peeves, I guess I don't like it when people drink from the same straw as me. Drinking from the same cup, I can kind of overlook it. But when they drink from the same straw, I really, really don't like it. Something about, the same straw, it's just, I don't know. I can't work with same straws. Hope that answered your questions, and even though it wasn't funny, hopefully you found some kind of humor. Alright, so we're going to continue on with 2 more songs, starting with 촌스럽게 왜 이래 by K-Will, followed with 착해 빠졌어 by 소유 and Mad Clown. We just heard 촌스럽게 왜 이래 by K-Will, followed with 착해 빠졌어 by 소유 and Mad Clown. We are on Scribble sharing your ideas, messages, and thoughts, and our next message comes from Aaron Johnson from the USA, saying, 안녕 Benji, I was wondering, would Muji like to have 2 new friends? Muji, I would like for you to meet Mao and his little brother Tao. They're both sweet like you are and would love to play. And then she sent 2 pictures. This is Mao and this is Tao. So Mao, based on the picture that I'm looking at, has very, very beautiful eyes, is various colors, and the ears are a little bit heart-shaped. But not like the ear itself, but like the white part on the inside of the ear, if you know what I'm saying. And then, so we have a very, very special colored bear. And then Tao is a panda bear, but he's a little bit, of a smaller kind. If we have the normal bear that we have, sits on the butt and has the 2 arms that extend to the sides, Tao is very, very, much the 4-legged creature. He has very beady eyes, and he has the kind of, dog sitting down posture. And, Muji, hey, Muji, you want to have some new friends? Well, guys, if we have friends, that would be really, I just realized how, weird it must be for, people who are just tuning into radio. Can you just think about it for a second? They're listening to radio, it's like, oh, okay, he's doing radio. Then all of a sudden a different voice comes out, and we're doing different voices, and it's not even some kind of, corner. It's just for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm voicing our mascot, Muji, who is a panda. Okay. So, Muji, you want to make some friends? Wow, Mao's really pretty. But Tao, I think, is super awesome. Yeah, I think it would be awesome if we could play sometime. Call him to Seoul. Alright, sounds good, man. Alright, so Mao, Tao, if you get a chance, stop by Seoul. Muji will play with you. And we'll have an awesome time here on Music Access. I'll introduce you to whoever comes in on that day. And if you come on the weekend, of course, we'll have even more fun turning up with the 3 bears together. Aaron Johnson, we'll figure something out. Alright, so we're going to continue on with 2 songs as we continue on, starting with 처음엔 사랑이란 게 by Busker, followed with 이게 사랑이 아니면 by Verbal Gent featuring Ailey. We just heard 처음엔 사랑이란 게 by Busker, followed with 이게 사랑이 아니면 by Verbal Gent featuring Ailey. Ailey! I like Ailey. Alright, so our next message for Scribble comes from Darcy Ann from the USA saying, 안녕 Benji, thank you so much for reading my me-you message about my friend Dave. I was at work listening to a recording of the show when I heard my note being read. You're so nice in what you said to me and I got choked up a little. You're a sweet guy that I'm proud to know. And you know what I say to that? I say, no, you know what? I'm here in the studio just, putting out my honest thoughts. Hopefully, if I can provide the minimal amount of support that I can, and hopefully it helps even a little bit, I'm happy about that. So, Darcy, and thank you for tuning in. And thank you for feeling that emotions. Hopefully, if you ever need any more support, let me know. And continue to send messages non-stop. That's what MA's here for, and that's what I'm here for. Alright, so we're going to continue with 2 songs as we continue on. Both songs that I love, starting with the song La 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 by Naughty Boy featuring Sam Smith, followed with Drive a Roll Up the Partition Please by Beyonce. And it's time to say goodbye. Epic song! The last song we're going to check out today is Not a Bad Thing by Justin Timberlake. Hopefully y'all are continuing to have a great weekend. This was Benji of B.I.G. and as always, I'll be back.